We've been 5 generations on this land here.
My family's been on this land grazing sheep since 1886.
I was born here, always worked here. And when you do something that you like, it isn't work. It's part of your life.
Queremos conservar esta tierra pensando en las próximas generaciones.
Nature is incredibly good when you work with it.
When it came to wool, wool seems inherently sustainable. It's natural, but where the impact really is in the vast amounts of land that the sheep graze on. So when we started looking for sustainable wool, we really ended up focusing on the issue of sustainable grazing.
Patagonian grassland comprise 150 million acres, including Chile and Argentina. And estimates say that 80% of that is severely degraded.
Grasslands of the world become critical because they are the greatest areas of the world's land and the areas in which we can sequester the most carbon most rapidly. When we look at the Patagonian grasslands, they are vast. In their present state, they're contributing enormously to climate change.
The problem that we face in Patagonia is that we have been setting animals in fenced paddocks for a long time, for 100 years, and that caused most of the certification. The problem starts with a loss of biodiversity that leads to bare ground. Bare ground is the cause of erosion because the soil surface is not protected, so you lose soil by wind or by water.
We were approached by 2 different groups about sustainable grazing programs in the Patagonia region of southern Argentina and Chile. One of those groups is the Nature Conservancy. They're a global nonprofit environmental organization focused on ecosystem conservation. And the other group is Ovis 21. They're a network of wool growers and service providers to those sheep farmers. The 3 of us formed a partnership with the goal of working to solve the problems of overgrazing and desertification of the grasslands in Patagonia.
You know, the Patagonian grasslands are almost entirely owned privately. Over 90% of them are private lands, and yet we think of conservation usually as protected areas, national parks, wildlife refuges, wildlife reserves. But in this case, if we're going to conserve those grasslands for both people and animals down the road, we're going to have to work with the farmers who manage that wildlife and who manage those lands.
The main output of this interaction with the Nature Conservancy is a standard for sustainable grazing that we call GRASS. It makes possible to define what a farmer needs to do to be certified as sustainable.
I can see that these grasslands could be many times more productive, sustaining families and people in meaningful jobs and far more wildlife and diversity of life. So to put them right, we need to, through the planned grazing, planning the movements of the animals so that you don't overgraze plants. And that way, these grasslands will hold 400 or 500% more animal life.
This project is very exciting because it takes sheep which in continuous grazing were having a very bad effect on the grasslands to become the tool to regenerate it, and at the same time applying all our new knowledge on flock improvement with the MPM sheep, doing a very high quality fiber, high quality product on the other end.
En algunos campos no había animales por más de 30 años y realmente se notaba que las pasturas no tenían vigor y era como que las pasturas estaban muertas.
The role of herbivores in these brittle environments is that the only humid and warm place where the grass, or really the carbon, can be cycled and put back into the ground is the animal's gut. So we're really trying to imitate what happened before man arrived to this place.
Hace 2 años empezamos a trabajar con el planeamiento holístico. Lo que estamos viendo es, después de 2 años de trabajo, de 2 primaveras, es el repoblamiento de especies anuales y mayor cobertura de suelo.
We started looking more at the land and saying we aren't wool and meat producers enough, we are grass producers to transform it into meat and wool. Now we think with holistic management we can do another step up.
El manejo holístico creo que es también una buena herramienta para lograr una mayor biodiversidad y un ambiente más estable.
As you start applying it, you can see that the landscape is requiring more numbers of herbivores. So that gives the opportunity for more room for wildlife and for the farmer more room for sheep.
No va a haber una vuelta atrás. Siempre hay una evolución, ¿no? Se observa y se va evolucionando y aprendiendo.
We work together and we don't compete between ourselves. Whoever does a mistake between us, we come out, tell it, and we say no, go that way, and we help each other, all the group to go forward.
I'm highly encouraged by what I see because the potential here to put it right is enormous, and the production that they will see from putting it right is going to be mind-boggling.
Our goal is to put 15 million acres into sustainable management, and that's 10% of the total area of Patagonia. And we assume that 10% will be like a snowball.
This project is all about regenerating grasslands. We use resources to make our products, and that causes negative environmental impacts on ecosystems. And usually we're just trying to reduce those impacts. But this project is unique in that we have a chance to make positive change, if we do it right. We need to use transparency and a standard in order to make sure we're doing that. And if we do, then we can not just keep doing less bad, but we can actually do good.
The consumer that takes a decision to buy that product is having a direct influence on the regeneration of grasslands in Patagonia and as this grows in other areas.
We were saving the land, we never thought of it, the whole world or going further from that.
Para mí, digamos, es un honor estar acá e intentar de conservar este pedazo de tierra. Como dice Bruce Chatwin en su libro, ¿no? Que la Patagonia es como un amante que una vez que la conoces no te deja ir.